shirts.
You are or not?
Not.
Are we live? Change the background, Keely.
Oh,
We're not in second cup of coffee anymore.
On it today. Hi, everyone. This is Mothers of Real Estate, but I haven't changed any of the backgrounds until I'm having a mommy time. There we go.
Yay.
And we are finally Mothers of Real Estate. There we go. Let's make it pretty. Make it pretty. All the prettiness.
That's right. Do you see? I'm in the process of redecorating my office.
I love it. I love the black.
A fancy microphone.
Uh-huh. Oh, I finally put my microphone on one of those handy dandy things. Oh, I can do that too. I can no, it's not high enough.
So let's do what we normally do. Today we're going to talk about mental health and preparing for the holidays and how we all are dealing with that and some tips and tricks. But before that, the life updates. Stephanie.
Oh no. Okay, so life update. This week has been crazy for me as far as like scheduling goes, because I'm gearing up for Thanksgiving, and I feel like everybody wants things done and like in place before Thanksgiving. So this week has been busy trying to keep together. I think that it's tricky with being remote because Zoom meetings like go minute to minute. Like I don't have margin. So this week feels like a little low on margin for me, but the tunnel is near. The tunnel is very near, and I have next week off, well, Wednesday through Sunday completely off. So
nice.
Very nice.
Wait, do you have family coming into town? Like, is there any stress around that?
No, actually, I'm really excited about it. So my dad lives in Fort Lauderdale, and we are going to drive halfway. We're going to meet halfway in Amelia Island, and we're renting a house for Thanksgiving. So we're going to be there. The kids are going to get off the bus on Tuesday, and then we're going to drive. So nice. I'm really excited about that. It feels very low pressure because no one's coming here. I don't have to worry about my house being perfect or having, every possible provision. We're just going to wing it and have Thanksgiving in an Airbnb. So it'll be great.
That's awesome. Love it.
Crazy.
Haley, where are you at this week? What's going on in your world?
I'm moving.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that came fast.
Yeah, pretty fast. So energy wise, like if you want spastic energy, I'm probably at a 24 out of 10.
That's not a thing. You can't be at higher than the highest level.
No. Too much coffee. Sorry. Let's take it down. So I'm really at a 10 because we're super excited to get over to Tennessee. We're really going to miss our friends and family here. The school systems here are amazing. I just took care of all that paperwork stuff because I've moved a lot in my life. So has Jason moved a bit, but I've moved a lot in my life from childhood, and we'll go into that at some other time.
And you were from Hawaii here.
Yes.
So you had some big moves.
I've done some big moves from Hawaii to New York, New York to New York to California, California back to New York to Hawaii, Hawaii to New York to New Jersey. Lots of moves. But this is the first time I'm moving with kids in public school. So
you're keeping up with us military folk there.
I figured I'd make it happen for myself anyway. So yeah, getting all that done. I am at, look, it's Melissa. I am at a solid 10. Hi, Melissa.
Solid 10. All right.
I'm at a solid 10 because keeping the energy up, keeping everything going, packing. I mean, it's kind of my fault. It's not all packed yet, but we have this monster semi truck in our driveway to move everything into. When I saw this thing pull up, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to start throwing things in there.
When's the actual start the drive?
They're going to take away everything on the 23rd. And we move into a hotel. They're gonna do the last walkthrough. We just had the CO inspection today, and we're gonna close on the 30th, and we start driving on the 1st. Or actually, we might actually start driving on the 30th.
I'm so excited for you. This seems like such a grand adventure.
Yeah. What about Thanksgiving? What are you gonna do for Thanksgiving?
We're actually driving. No. That's why we're staying that week. Is to hang out with my in-laws. So we're going to go to their house and we're going to hang out with them.
Nice. Love it. Melissa Johnson, are you able to talk while you're driving, or you want to wait to get where you're going?
Oh, it's going to be a while, so.
You look super fancy. I like it.
I love
like
the
this
red.
style. What's going on in your life? It's been 2
on in my
weeks.
life? I know. I feel like such a loser. No, actually, things have been really good. Y'all remember my nightmare house? The one I'm always been complaining about for months now. I got an offer, and it's under contract, and I'm closing tomorrow. So, yay!
Of course, we shouldn't be celebrating until like the ink is dry on the like
Till the
whatever.
wire is received, but
Right.
But we can celebrate.
I'm much further along with this offer than I was with the other two that I had. So this is a good thing. And then
so happy
that
for
was
you.
good. And then my daughter is getting her Aggie ring today. So she goes to Texas A&M, and there's a lot of traditions and things like that. And one of them is when they're getting ready to graduate, they get their ring. So we ordered a ring, and it came in, and then they had to, because of COVID, they usually have like a huge thing, and like all the kids are there that are getting their ring for that time and stuff. But they had to pull for times, and she happened to pull today at 3.
Perfect.
And it's a 3-hour drive for me, so that's why I'm in the college tunnel now, and I'll have another college graduate. So excited for her.
Wow. That is so exciting. You must be such a proud mama.
I am. That's 2 down and 3 to go. So, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Nice. Let's see. Last week I was at, I think I said a 7.5. I was coming out of burnout. And I have been spending a lot of time this past week. I love that we're talking about taking care of ourselves, because I started before last week. I started working on self-care. You guys caught me in the middle of it last week, and it's paying off now. And so I'm very excited to talk about that. Feeling good. Having a little bit of an existential identity crisis. I called Stephanie this morning. I was like, I need to talk. So we can maybe go into that a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe we'll save that for a future time after it's wrapped up a little more. But yeah, life is good. So let's talk. I mean, this is crazy, right? So we got Stephanie. She's doing an off-site Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Peely is, well, you're doing in there, but you're in the middle of a move.
Yeah.
Melissa, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I wish I knew. I don't know. I have so many kids, and my problem is now that they're all older and they've got boyfriends and significant others and everything, I have to share my time. So we're still trying to coordinate all that, but it's looking like we'll just do a Thanksgiving dinner like at night in the evening, like later in the evening. So, but it'll be at home, so that'll be good, and hopefully I'll have all my chickens with me.
Awesome.
I love it. You're just like, I just have so many kids.
I'm like the old woman in the shoe.
Good. Then we'll definitely come back to that, because I think sharing holidays is probably, I'm curious to see how you guys do it in your world. So
Yeah.
I also, for Thanksgiving, my family all lives pretty close. I have 3 sisters, and my parents live in an in-law apartment on my property. My one sister's in Florida, but the other 2 are here. The oldest one has 3 like 20-something-year-old kids. The next one has 2 young kids. They're in a school other than my kids. My kids are in school, and I'm just coming off of like COVID magnet. We've been in quarantine for 2 weeks. I thought it was going to end this week, and then Matt got sick yesterday or 2 days ago. And so I'm like, is this a cold? Is it COVID? So my family is blowing up the text string with like, we're getting together, right? Normally that's like 19 people when all of us get together in Pennsylvania. And I like didn't chime in, and finally people are like, Becca, what are you doing? I was like, I kind of think it's not a great idea to get together with 20 people. So I'm not going to. And then then I feel guilty and like a jerk, but I think it's the right thing to do.
I've actually talked to a lot of people they're not canceling Thanksgiving. They're still celebrating in small ways, but they're not doing the big thing. I've talked, actually more than a dozen people that I know are just like, yeah, we're just going to be at home and we're going to do our own things and we're going to just Zoom our families. And I'm just like, well, if that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. I know we kind of had a COVID scare. My aunt got it, but then it's 14 days have passed. So we're still like, are we still going to do it? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay. We're still going on.
Yeah. And for me, the big thing is like, it's kids' school. Like our kids have been home. They're doing like a blended program, but so now they've been virtual completely for 2 weeks. And I would like for them, if possible, to go back to school. And so I'm balancing this, like, see my family versus potentially my kids again having another 2-week quarantine. And when it comes down to it, they're more important. Like them going back to school, seeing their friends, getting some socialization after just doing 2 weeks of quarantine.
Yeah.
Sorry, family, but
I mean, that's a tough call. Beth, we have 20 people. Like,
yeah,
that's not like one family. You know what I mean? Like, that's all your siblings and then your parents and all that. Like that, I agree. That's kind of a tough call.
Yeah.
You know?
It'll be like, maybe it's like 15, but it's still, they are all still going out living their own lives, right? So you're bringing all these vectors together into one place. Now, my parents just had COVID, so they've got antibodies, so not worried about them, but like the 20-something-year-old, nieces and nephews, they're still out partying. I'm not stupid. I know.
Yeah.
So
that's really hard. Yeah. And I feel like you're coming from a place of like extended quarantine too. And you're like, I don't want to go back to that place.
Oh, please, no.
No. It doesn't even impact my day-to-day life. Like I'm out in my office every day anyway. I don't really go out much at night, but for my kids, it really does. They're being so good. They're such good kids, but why would I put them through that if I don't have to? So,
yeah.
I have a question for all you ladies. So let's talk about a little bit about real estate in the holidays. I know, Melissa, you have a closing coming up on this monster flip. 2 closings. Oh my goodness. And then we just closed on a multifamily. Are you guys working on anything else right now? Or Melissa, if you want to chime in and let us know a little bit about the closings that you're doing and how much you're working during the holidays. Because, as entrepreneurs and as real estate professionals, one of the reasons why I got into this was to have free time, that I wouldn't have to work during the holidays. Mm-hmm. But you all know that sometimes that doesn't happen. So how are you handling it, Melissa?
I've got 2 closings on Friday. I'm selling one and I'm buying one. And that was, from a couple of weeks ago, we got that one under contract. And I think my plan is I'll probably work Monday and Tuesday and then take the rest of the week off. Just so that I don't get too far behind, but I kind of tie up loose ends for the week and then do that. But I try to work very minimally during holidays. I mean, I do all the things that need to be done and do the things that I need to do to stay on track. But other than that, I don't do a whole lot extra. And the kids will be home, so that's a thing. And my daughter will be home. The girls they'll be home from college, so I want to spend time with them. So that's definitely a priority for me.
Awesome. Becca?
Well, fun little adventure this past week. My sister that lives in Florida, a house came up the street, came on the market, and it's a fixer-upper, an 1830 stone farmhouse, 4,000 square feet, that actually the owners have been in there since like 1980s. Wow. And they've, like, the boiler's 5 or 6 years old. They've rewired the basement, but I'm sure the walls are still knob and tube, stuff like that. So she was like, I want to buy this, and will you help me? So I got to do that whole walkthrough, scope of work, putting all the stuff together. We put the offer in last night. Haven't heard back yet whether this is on the MLS. So we'll see. But I did a little next level. Like the agent didn't want to do any more offers, but it was still active after a month. So I called him and I'm like, what's the deal? This is still active, but it says that you accepted offers on October 14th. And he's like, well, the seller still hasn't accepted. So I'm like, so it's still available? And he's like, well, we're not doing any showings. I was like, what? So of course I drive over there with a little card. like going to put it in her mailbox. And I was like, it sounds like you've got something great on the table, but we're really interested. I live right up the road. If you're reconsidering, I'd love to take a look and make you an offer, right? And the seller happened to be there. So she came out as I'm putting this card in. I was like, yeah. So I talked to her, get a call from her. And in it, I say very nicely, if this is interesting to you, have your agent call me, right? Like, I'm not trying to circumvent your agent. The agent calls me like almost immediately. Tell me what your intentions are. This has to be a cash deal, blah, blah, blah. Like, he comes out pretty aggressive. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Let me see it. So we just did that yesterday. And I'm very excited. We'll see.
Yay, exciting.
Yeah,
the $200,000 renovation though.
Ooh.
This is
Sounds like something I used to do.
yeah.
Yikes.
Miss Stephanie?
Okay, so I think opportunity arises when opportunity arises. And if you're looking for it, you'll see it. So as far as like passivity goes and real estate during the holidays and all that, I think we have to have boundaries, and boundaries are hard for entrepreneurs. Becca, you and I were talking about this earlier. I think that at some point you've got to draw a line in the sand as to when you're not going to look for stuff or pay. And I struggle. I struggle with boundaries. I really do. I am addicted to work and opportunities and all these things, and I need to set boundaries during the holidays. I will say from a real estate company perspective, like, we have enough people there now at this point that we can share that load. There were many years that I answered the phone on Christmas Eve because it rang, and that was it. And I was the one to do it.
Those are the best sellers.
Always the best, right? Yeah. We do it Sundays. We get our best deals on Sundays too. But I will say, like, that's no longer me anymore. So I feel like that company is like together and it's settled, and I don't worry anymore about a missed call. I don't worry anymore about a missed opportunity there because I feel like there's so much and it's fine. You know what I mean? But, some of these other ventures like our CRM company and the social media marketing company, I feel like those are really ramped up right now because people are trying to get their stuff together by the end of the year, like their social media marketing plan, their marketing stuff for 2021. They want to transition their CRM during the holidays when it's like a little bit slower for incoming calls and things. So I'm trying to balance that right now to make sure that people are serviced, but then have some boundaries for myself too. And it's really hard. So I think that's why I'm a little bit busier this week. And like my team is a little bit busier trying to get people settled so that they can, their team can get settled. There's a lot of responsibility, I think, with dealing with other people's companies. And I want to honor that. I want to make sure that I'm giving really good service. And I think that right now that means extending myself a little bit. So I'm okay with it because I see where it's going. But all that to say, I think that we need to also be a little bit forgiving with how harshly we judge ourselves with how passive we are. Like, I think it's okay to work. I think it's okay to work if you want to work. I don't think it's reality to be on a beach somewhere eating bonbons while like you're just making a ton of money. Like, that's just not reality. And I kind of want to stop that message out there that like working is horrific. I think if you're doing what you love and you're enjoying it and you feel like you're making an impact on you and your family and your industry or your community, then you go do it.
And you have boundaries.
And you have boundaries. Like, it's just healthy. But I also think that there's this thing out there, like, working, you shouldn't be working.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of talking heads out there that say like, why are you working? You should be by the pool. Right. Like, and I just don't.
The 4-hour work week. Go do it.
Yeah. I don't think you just turn overnight into a 4-hour work week. I think you get there, but like, it takes a lot of time. And I don't think we should be shamed either for working. So there's some balance there. Like, have your holidays, have your boundaries, but also don't be shamed that you're preparing to go away or launching something, or I don't know. I don't really quite know how to articulate it, but there's a balance between even that. There's a balance with the balance. So
I know. I think that's a perfect way to articulate it. In fact, I'm just going to end the broadcast there. Thank you, everyone.
Mic drop.
But seriously, because so when we're entrepreneurs, we're just like, okay, now we got to like ramp up to this like level of whatever we're trying to ramp up to. And then when we're at that level, we get to the point where we're just like, wait a minute, why am I not on the beach like all these other people and in my private jet or blah, 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 yakety schmackety. And we like shame ourselves for picking up the phone during Christmas or, after you pop out a baby, work on a deal, we have to stop doing that. And I totally get what you're saying, Stephanie, because I do that. We all do that to ourselves. We all make ourselves feel bad for working.
I think if you have boundaries, and that's, I think, like you said, where we all struggle, that look, none of us are going to stop doing things.
Right.
It's not in our DNA.
Right.
I was just gonna say too that like it shouldn't be at the expense of something else.
Right.
Yes.
You know, like working hard is good, and you do that when you need to do it, but not at the expense of, you know, the people that you care about too. I think keeping that in mind is important.
Yes.
We had an awesome staff meeting at Seven Figure Flipping yesterday, talking about the company that we're building, right? What do we want it to look like, not just for our members, but for our team? And just that idea that like you shouldn't come home at the end of the day feeling drained so that your family gets the leftovers, like the crappy dregs of you, right? You want to work so that you're energized, and when you come home, you are filled up to pour into your family. Like work to live, or live to work. No, work to live, don't live to work.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm energized every time I get a deal done. I'm just like, yay, sprinkle happiness on the entire family. So in our case, we do large multifamily. So it's not like we're getting calls from sellers or agents all the time. But if something comes through our mailbox, because it doesn't come through like as often as it used to, like when we were flipping and wholesaling, because these are bigger deals, we'll look at it. But the thing is, like, it takes, for a large multifamily, it takes a process. Like if we want to put a letter of intent on a property, we're going to go through the process of looking at the numbers. We're going to show it to whatever people that we need to show it to, and then we'll put the LOI in, and we have a process for it. So even if we did this, like, I don't know, Christmas morning, which probably wouldn't happen because it wouldn't be that important to get it out on Christmas. You know, like you said, like we've been talking about, it's boundaries. I'm not going to work on an LOI on Christmas morning or Christmas Eve, but maybe like the day after Christmas or something like that. But it's like setting yourself up for those, like Stephanie, you've set yourself up, Becca, Melissa, we've all set ourselves up to succeed so that when these big deals fall into our lap, so like Melissa or Stephanie, if like a big flip or a big deal fell into your lap, you wouldn't just ignore it on Christmas. You'd look at it, you'd send a little note back, and you'd send it to whoever would need to look at it and send paperwork. Yeah. And then you would get back on it and get back on with being with your family. So Stephanie, I think you rounded out this conversation so well with everything you just said, because we need to stop feeling bad for working at the same time, setting those boundaries and keeping those boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult to do, but you know, I think a lot of the reasons why people can be successful is because they're willing to do what others are not willing to do. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and that can be on a massive amount of different scales, like willing to create a new spaceship, right? Like some people are just not willing to do that, and then you find the people who are willing to do it, and they get rewarded for it, right? Does that mean you're not going to work hard? No, you are, and you're hopefully going to have boundaries too. But there's, you know, you've also got to be able to do the things. You got to be able to put 100 hours in to fix something or make something, and you know, do all those things so you can have, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a Gary Vee thing where like all of a sudden you're an influencer and you're out there just talking about not working, like whatever. Anyway.
Well, and even for me, right? I mean, you guys just saw it over the past couple of weeks. We were like full out sprint, balls to the wall leading up to Flip Hacking Live, and the 2 weeks after it, making sure that all our new members got serviced and loved and, you know, got started in the right direction, such that I was pretty burnt out. But then like last week, this week, we're chilling. Like I'm painting my office. I'm inspired by you, Peely. I want a beautiful space around me. And, you know, like I've been working out every morning and just getting back to, I think that's the entrepreneurial arc too, is like sometimes you sprint for a long period of time and then you rest.
Yep. And it's a testament to the team too. Like you can't do it all by yourself. Mm-hmm. But if everybody contributes a little bit, then the burnout is a little bit less and the burden is shared, and you know, everybody can have a little bit better boundaries and margin in their life because it's shared. So I think having a good team and working together really allows you to do a lot more, you know.
Question. Talking about burnout, is there a way, Becca, that you think you could prevent burnout from happening to you next time? I'm asking for a
Well,
friend
my
'cause,
smug
that
self
happens to all of
said
us.
a week before Flip Packing Live, Bill did say, he's like, I just want to make sure your team's okay and you're not like pushing too hard. We're not doing too much. And I was like, we're fine. It wasn't until I like hit and exceeded it that I realized, oh, wow, it was not fine. So, you know what? Talking about like leading up to the holidays and like it gets to be such a hectic, stressful time. And what I realized, I went on vacation, spent 2 hours on the beach. We talked about that, I think, last week, maybe. I realized when my schedule gets out of control and overcrowded, what I start doing is first I start sacrificing the things that are important to me, like exercising. I didn't exercise really consistently for like a month, and I need that. I wasn't paying attention to my kids' schooling, so that got out of control, right? Because I was devoting all these hours to work. So I got my schedule back, and I said, my priorities need to be first thing in the day. Like these things that the things that I'm really likely to cut off in favor of work just need to happen before work. It's like that miracle morning concept, right?
Yeah.
So I 7 a.m. I work out. 8 a.m. I spend an hour with my kids, like making sure they're set up for the school day, checking off their work from the previous day. And then I shower and I eat, and I don't start work until now, like 9:30, which is very hard for me because I want to start work at 5 a.m. But I feel great.
It's a mind over matter because I like wake up, I roll over, and I'm looking at my phone. I'm just like hitting email. No, don't hit the email.
No.
Meditation button. Go to calm, not email. I should take the email button off my like first screen.
Ooh.
Good idea.
That's actually a really good idea.
It's funny how those things actually work. I stopped all notifications, which now I haven't been on Marco Polo forever, but like I don't see stuff anymore. Stupid Mac updated, and now my notifications keep popping up and I can't stop them.
That just happened to me too.
It's driving me insane right now.
Stephanie, you said that you are in it. You're sort of ramping up all these businesses. Do you feel the burnout coming, or are you managing it right now?
No, I'm stressed. Like I'm feel a little frazzled today, and I haven't exercised this week, and that's a big part of it too. Like you said, Becca, that's the first thing that you sacrifice, and I just feel a little frazzled. My schedule this week has been really busy. I don't have a lot of margin between appointments, and I feel like I'm switching gears, like, in minutes to different meetings, and it's hard on my brain. And I'm feeling like I need carbs and turkey and a coma. So I'm very excited for Thanksgiving. But it's okay because I see the light. I'm willing to sprint and then rest. And I think you need to have rest stuff on the schedule so that you can get through it. And I think we've talked about this before, like planning for vacations and having exciting things on your calendar. And then for some, like the time goes by fast and you're looking forward to that rest and that like reward for everything that you're doing. And that really helps me when I'm sprinting. And I'll be honest, like I don't rest well. So I need that's a very hard boundary for me. Like, this is it. I'm going here then. And
turning off.
Yeah.
You can be my 7 a.m. workout partner.
I'll do that with you for sure. Cause my kids get on the bus at 6:40 a.m. and then I can just get right after that.
Oh, you just asked for it, Stephanie. Becca's going to be all over you.
I need it. It's good. We can go for a morning run together.
Okay.
Awesome.
I mean, it's like 20 degrees here. It was very cold this morning.
31 degrees here too. I was like, oh, I don't want to go out there. But
I like this. So scheduling breaks, doing exercise, or doing the things that you need to do for your sanity first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Moving your email notification off the home screen. I'm writing this down. I like that idea. What else? What else do you guys do in an ideal world to
get help?
Get help.
Get
I
help.
think one thing you just missed, getting accountability. I guess you just said help. Like you say it out loud. Like Stephanie, you said it out loud, and Becca's like, "Well, I can help you. I'll call you up at 7 o'clock and we'll run together," and that'll keep you accountable. And that's amazing because we all need that.
Yeah.
That's one of the only reasons why I hopped back on 75 hard, because I found that without the rules, I wasn't holding myself accountable. So I went kind of like a month not exercising regularly. I mean, I would exercise for maybe half an hour. I would maybe go outside, do some stuff, but it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to do 45 minutes here, 45 minutes there, and then I'm going to drink all the water, and then I'm going to do the reading, and I'm going to just do all the stuff. Exactly that right there.
And it doesn't even have to be a big thing. Like I scheduled rock times. Like for one of my accountability sessions, I had committed to a 6 to 8 a.m. twice a week on the business sessions. And I had an accountability partner. All we do was text each other. 6 a.m. You ready? Cool. Just that little thing, that little check-in was like, okay, somebody else cares if I skip this.
Yeah. And for me, it's like the 2-week mark. I can do it by myself for 2 weeks. And then I'm like, meh. And then I go, stop. I just stop. I completely fade at 2 weeks. So Becca, we're going to do this and like hit me up on day 15 because that's when I quit.
I'm on day 12, so I probably need you right about now.
I think that's perfect.
What else? What else do you guys do to
conversation?
What about
prepare?
you?
Miss Melissa, do we still have you?
Yeah, sorry. I muted myself because I don't know if it's too loud with the road noise.
What do you do to take care of yourself and stay in good spirits over the holidays?
With that, like, not face holiday burnout.
One thing that I've started doing is just being in the moment, like being in the present moment. And I think that that's really made a difference for me just because I know that a lot of anxiety is caused by thinking about the future and what hasn't happened yet.
I'm odd man out right now.
And so if I don't let myself think about that sort of stuff, then that reduces some of that stress and anxiety because I know like I'm worrying about something that hasn't happened yet and may or may not happen, and I'm trying to control too much the outcome of something. And so if I'm just do what I can do for today and making sure that I do the things that I need to do each day, things that'll move my business forward or things that are good for me, taking care of myself, do something for my kids, make sure I help somebody each day. If I just do one of those things each day, then it helps me feel better.
I love that idea. And is this like a recent journey, Melissa? I mean, I feel like this year has been an evolution, right? How have you noticed this impacting your life since you started doing this?
I definitely feel a lot less stressed, and I'm able to identify it a lot quicker when I feel that way. Because before I would just be like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. There's too many things happening, and I just shut down for a little bit because that's always my first instinct is just to. But then when I realized that that's what's happening, then I'm able to shift my mind a lot quicker now to just say, okay, just think about today. What can I do today? Just don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about next week. Just worry about today and right now. And I've been doing that I've been trying to do that for months now, but I think it's just one of those things that then it's really made a big difference.
That's awesome. My other thing lately has been putting my phone down. Like, so when I went on vacation 2 weeks ago, I turned off Facebook on my phone, which I signed out of it, right? So it actually, when you see the icon, it still has like the number of messages on it, but I had to like go through one extra step to sign in to see the notifications. And it kind of broke this pattern in me of this compulsive checking of social media. And so now at night, I've been focusing on that too, and just actually watching TV to like force myself to chill. Oh, we lost Melissa.
It's Melissa. I've actually done something similar with my phone. Now iPhone has like, I use their bedtime thing. Oh, is Melissa back? Melissa's back? Yes. Yes. Yeah, there she is. Yay, hi Melissa. So I use this thing on iPhone now, the bedtime actually semi kind of turns your phone off. It puts you on a sleep screen. So you actually have to like dismiss, like you have to make the decision to not sleep, dismiss the screen. But they also have another button that has shortcuts. And in the shortcuts, I have the only things populated I have is my meditation apps. So I hit the meditation app, it plays me like nice music, and I drift back up to sleep.
I like that. I like this idea of, sometimes using technology to help you set boundaries where you're weak, or using other people to set boundaries, where you need, right? Like an accountability partner, or like leveraging the sleep app. I know some people would probably say, oh, that's weak, you should just be able to do it. But I think for us high achievers, like one of our strengths is that we can do a lot of things, but that's also our weakness. So if we can find ways to shore that up.
Well, the first things you learn is put down the hammer. I know we've all heard that.
I really like the hammer.
Oh, yeah, I know you do. I really like the hammer. But
speaking of the hammer, I have to tell y'all, just because I'm going to squirrel here for a minute, but talking about the hammer, I laid tile floor for the first time ever this week. And I did it as a challenge to myself to see if I could do it, and I sickly enjoy it. Yes. So
nice.
I love doing projects, but only like once, and when they're on my schedule, like decorating my office, right? This is on my.
Yeah, exactly. That's not
Whenever
the hammer.
you do something
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the terms are different when it's on your terms. It feels so much better. Like I choose to tile this floor instead of like, oh my god, I have a deadline.
Yeah. I have 9,000 other things to do. Yeah, it's like for you, Melissa, it's like proving, a new skill, adding something fun. And I do think that we crave diversity too, right? Like a little bit of a new challenge. So how do you find a way to get that in ways that fill you up, don't drain you, right? It's not an obligation and a commitment. It's an exciting, fun thing.
Yes. Yes. See, that's not the hammer. That's you wanting to, not needing to. But, sometimes we got to pick the hammer up, and sometimes we got to do other things.
I am an expert grouter.
Well, one of the things I read in Stillness is the Key, that book that I love so much, he talks about Winston Churchill having his gardener teach him how to become a bricklayer. And it was something that he did just, to like calm his mind and like take his mind off of all the other crazy things.
And it's so tactile. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was like channeling my inner Winston Churchill then, because I felt really powerful and really like I got something done. And I never do things with my hands, so I just couldn't stop admiring like the work, and then just that satisfaction, like doing something you've never done and then doing it well.
Yes. On that note, we're 20 minutes to the end. What kind of last little tidbits can we leave our mamas, our papas, our real estate professionals with kids, without kids? Whoever
I wanted to share one thing today. I wrote it down because I've been really excited about it. I didn't do it last year, and I didn't do it the year before. But prior to that, like the previous 5 years, I would take 2 days off in December. And I wouldn't plan anything except to work on, I like to make things, right? So I would do DIY Christmas presents, and I would take 2 days off and just spend some time doing DIY stuff. So like one year I made infused vodka, and another year I made lemon curd. That's what I was trying to think of that. Another year I like made a castle for my kids that, Santa brought, a like dress up castle. And so I decided this year that is a annual tradition that I am reinstating. I'm going to take 2 days off to just enjoy the spirit of Christmas, which is giving gifts just for the joy it brings you to give it, and the joy it gives somebody else to receive it.
I love it. Zach and I were just talking about this, Becca, this morning about like just putting more fun things on the calendar like that. Like every week we were talking about this, like every week we want to make a different cookie recipe, like Christmas cookie recipe. now to the end of the year after Thanksgiving. Like we're just going to make cookies every week and like try all kinds of different things. And like
that's
our
like
schedule,
pretty low, commitment, right? You just pick the recipes and you cook. I mean, it's not like we're gonna go to New York City and do the Rockettes and like make this big grand thing that ends up stressing you out.
Yeah, right.
It's just fun.
Exactly. Something small, but like, like just cookies.
I love it. And the end product is cookies you get to eat. And the great thing about baking is I think I'm going to do that, is that you just need to focus on the baking.
I'm a people person, right? So let's do this together. We could pick recipes.
Are we having a holiday cookie exchange here at More?
A holiday cookie baking,
and we can like eat it together, because now I guess with COVID we shouldn't really be exchanging food.
Okay, we can send each other pictures about the cookies. Okay, everybody, if you guys are watching this, give us some recipes. Like one of my favorite recipes to make are the Italian tricolor cookies, the marzipan cookies.
Wow,
I made them.
Oh, those are my favorite. They're the biggest pain in the butt, of course, but they're so good.
I want to try doing that icing where it's like cake kind of icing, like you make sugar cookies and then the icing is like a thick layer on top of it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Make it pretty.
Really good. Yeah.
Give us some other ideas. My mom always makes rum balls. Only the adults can eat them.
Ooh,
I know.
so many cookies.
Yes, let's do it.
And if people have watched to this point, I would love to hear from the audience. Like, what do you do? What are you planning to do to make Christmas special without being incredibly stressful?
Yes, please comment, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. And let us know how you're feeling. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help. We have so many helpers in this group you don't even know. So hit us up. Let us know how we can help you. Anywho.
I like it. This was kind of a chill episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice, chill.
Perfect.
Good to break in the holidays.
And we're skipping next week, right? Because it's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are doing that. We're putting that boundary. That's going to be our first ever episode skipped. We're gonna put that boundary up for each other, and we'll talk about the next week, because I'll be moving. So I might just open this up, and whoever shows up shows up. You guys are amazing. My 2-year-old has just woken up, so I'm gonna go get it.
Bye, guys.
Good to see you. Bye.